Hello and welcome to the next Thematic List Build. This time we are moving on to the Lords of Winter and War. So let's dive into a Thematic List Build for the Space Wolves. For those new, the goal of the Thematic List Build series is to create a 2K Strike Force sized list based around a theme central to the focused faction. And with that stated, let's take a look at the subfaction rules. The Space Wolves chapter tactic, Hunters Unleashed, has experienced a slight alteration in its transition to 9th edition. The second perk which boosted Heroic Intervention range for characters has been replaced with a perk granting Heroic Intervention to all units. On the whole, I'd say it's a value add, enabling more Heroic Interventions across the army, and if the 6-inch intervention on characters was a beloved mechanic, I would like to point out the countercharge stratagem, which will allow any unit to intervene 6 inches for 1 command point. And if the strat is used on a character, it has a cost of 0. Their doctrine bonus, Savage Fury, has received no alterations from what it was in Saga of the Beast, and remains an ability to allow units in the Assault Doctrine to score an additional hit from melee attacks which hit on unmodified 6s, which is a great perk, adding further combat effectiveness to their already combat-oriented army-wide rules present in their chapter tactic. Altogether, their army-wide rules are quite thematic and potent for the Sons of Russ, increasing their performance with melee weapons to a degree far beyond the majority of their contemporaries, and granting them more control over the enemy fight phase by having access to heroic interventions across the board. When it comes to the thematic objectives of the list, they are creating a list that features frost weapons, which are the unique weapon type exclusive to the Space Wolves chapter, and featuring the savage combat of the Space Wolves, relating to their combat potency, as well as their cunning hunter's instincts, which for me is represented in their capacity to control the fight phase. Now let's go over to the list breakdown. The list is organized into a battalion. Let's start with the Warlord. Leading the army will be Bjorn the Fell-Handed. Bjorn has a solid complement of rules, as befits his legacy. Offensively, he has a 2-up weapon and ballistic skill, and gets a total of 6 attacks on the charge with True Claw, wounding at strength 12, rerolling wounds, with AP-4, dealing d6 damage. He has been equipped with a Hellfrost Cannon, a multi-profile weapon suited to target standard infantry or vehicles. Defensively, Bjorn boasts a toughness of 8 with 8 wounds, behind a 3-up armor save and a 5-up feel no pain, along with Duty Eternal since he is a Dreadnought. And Bjorn also has the Captain's Rites of Battle aura, which is boosted to 9 inches thanks to his Warlord trait Aura of Majesty, which also affects the Tactical Precision aura, handy for when you want to pop Wisdom of the Ancients to make him a buffing machine. On to the troops. First we have a simple 5-man unit of Incursors. They can be used to create some initial mid-board objective pressure, or used to restrict your opponent's first turn movement. Next, we have 2 5-man Assault Intercessor squads. Both squads are identically loaded out, with the sergeants taking Thunderhammers. 2 reasons for this. It flexes the Wolves' melee proficiency, since they'll be able to swing Thunderhammers at their weapon skill, and Assault Intercessors can make use of the Honor the Chapter stratagem to fight twice. Combined with the army-wide capacity to heroically intervene, it'll create opportunities and demonstrate the Wolves' control of the fight phase. Transporting those 2 units are 2 Impulsors. They will help move those Intercessor squads forward, as well as adding an extra layer of defense. The second HQ unit of the list will be a Phobos Lieutenant. The draw for the Phobos Lieutenant is the Terror Troops stratagem, to turn off enemy units' OBSEC, so send him along with one of the Assault Intercessors, and he can provide the Lieutenant's Tactical Precision aura to reroll wound rolls of 1. He has been given the relic, the Armor of Russ, which honestly I think is pretty great. Not only does it greatly enhance his defense, giving the Lieutenant a 2-up armor save and 4-up invulnerable save, but it also allows you to select one unit within engagement range of the bearer and force it to fight after all your eligible units have done so, giving this Lieutenant similar utility to that of the Justiciar. Next are a 5-man squad of Thunderwolf Cavalry, selected in mind to serve as highly mobile shock troops. They move 10 inches, advance and charge, and have stratagem support to improve their charge roll. They are what I consider to be a problem unit. They all wield Thunderhammers, which ordinarily is already dangerous, but as Space Wolves, they're all the more deadly, which can be further enhanced by multiple stratagems, and their wolves get to make attacks as well. Defensively, each model is a toughness 5 4-wound base with a 3-up armor save, and their Storm Shield gives them a +1 to their armor save and a 4-up invulnerable save. Next we have 5 Wolfguard Terminators. Initially, they were selected as a unit capable of dealing with Horde-style units, but honestly, equipped with lightning claws, they are quite deadly against anything. This Wolfguard unit will have 26 attacks on the charge, and that's before any exploding hits provided by their doctrine or any other abilities. They hit on 2s at strength user, which is 4 rerolling wounds, at AP 2 dealing 1 damage. To add more flair, 1 command point has been spent on Thane of Retinue, to make the pack leader's lightning claws a frost weapon, making his 6 attacks, which hit on 2s, strength 5 at AP 2 dealing 2 damage. The last HQ of the list is a chaplain, or wolf priest, in Terminator armor. He is here to help our Wolfguard get into combat. He knows the Canticle of Hate, which will allow units within 6 inches to add 2 to charge rolls. And the Commanding Oratory Stratagem will allow him to auto-activate its effects after arriving on the battlefield. And an extra command point has been spent to give him the relic the Wolfenstone, which will give units within 6 inches the ability to re-roll their charge rolls, helping him do his job. As well as a secondary perk, where once per battle you can cause Savage Fury's exploding hits to trigger on 5s instead of 6s for a unit within 6 inches. The final units in the list are 2 Stormfang gunships. These Viking longboat gunships are here to provide some rather ghastly anti-tank firepower. Each are identically equipped, hosting a Skyhammer missile launcher, 2 Storm Strike missile launchers, and a Hellfrost destructor. The Skyhammer is the least impressive. Heavy 3 with a +1 to hit at aircraft targets, at strength 7, AP 1, dealing D3 damage, which is fine. The Storm Strikes are where things begin to get spicy. 2 shots at strength 8, AP 3, dealing 3 damage flat. And the Hellfrost destructor, specifically the Focused Beam, fires heavy D3 shots at strength 10, AP 4, dealing a staggering damage of 6 per shot.
That's a lot of damage!
It's incredibly brutal. 6 damage flat is typically something rarely seen on non-Titanic units. And keep in mind there are 2 Stormfang gunships in the list.
That's a lot of damage!
And that's the list, coming in at a satisfying 2,000 points. After spending the command points for the extra relics, it provides a total of 10 command points. It presents quite a lot of threat saturation, featuring some deadly frost weapons and a slew of above-average performing Thunderhammers, all led by the legendary Bjorn. So make way for war, the wolf time is nigh. That's a wrap on this one, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video enjoyable. If you have any questions or comments or requests, please feel free to drop them down below. And if you are a Space Wolves player, I would be curious to know how you are feeling with the current 9th edition Codex and Supplement. So if you enjoyed this video, there is a like button. And if you want to help this channel grow, there is a subscribe button. There is also a bell button and a share button. So press the buttons you want to press. Thanks again for watching, and I'll hope to see you guys in the next one.